Welcome to the channel, everybody. So today we are going to continue on with our pursuit of becoming Cavalier on the backup account. We're going to continue on through Act 5.4.3. That's going to put us halfway through Act 5.4, which will leave us 9 levels after this left to go to achieve the Cavalier title. So we're almost there. With this one, this is another one of the levels that is level locked, so you can't move around on the map. So we'll go ahead and just talk our way through the champions you're going to face and what their nodes are on the path I chose. I went ahead and went with the Bane path. Not everybody on the path has Bane, but at the same time, Bane is a fairly easy node to deal with if you are consistent on watching that timer. Basically, what you want to do whenever you're dealing with a Bane node is make sure that first off you land the first hit of the fight. Secondly, that you're dexing anything and keeping them from hitting you as much as possible. If they do, immediately get a hit back on them and get the Bane switched back over to them. Or the last and final element of it is making sure that you're timing your hits, whereas that you are going to be landing a hit as soon as the timer expires on Bane, so that when it switches to you, it immediately switches back to them. That way you're losing as little health as possible. If you do it well, you can actually get through multiple fights with the same champion without healing up, because yes, you are going to be losing health, but you can lose so little that you can still carry on through 2 or 3 fights before you even have to heal up. And honestly, depending on what your health pools are at, depending on if you're using 5 or 6 stars at this point, you may even be able to carry through quite a few fights. Your first up champion is going to be Red Hulk. The only thing extra on him is he is stun immune. Then you're going to face Magic. She does not have the Bane node. She has Power Seal and increased stun duration. With her Power Seal, if she connects with you with her sword at any point in time, whatever your highest current power bar is where you are locked at, and you're not going to be able to get any further past that. So keep that in mind, especially watching how much you let her connect with you. She's already got a lot of really good power lock and power control on her, so you want to be careful anyways. Doesn't hurt to bring in a high damage dealing science champion. Lots of great options out there for that. If you can do that, normally you can walk through her fairly well. Next up is Yellow Jacket, who has Power Drain along with his normal stun abilities. And then he also has Limber, so you're going to want to watch because he actually has each of his stun abilities is going to increase the duration of each corresponding stun. So you're going to have to watch out for that. Then you're going to get over to Doc Ock, who also has the Bane node. We already talked about that. And then Checkmate. His attacks are going to ignore armor and evasion, so be careful on that when you're dealing with him. Captain Marvel movie did the trick for us. Good cosmic champion. There's so many of them out there right now that you can pretty much find an easy way around Doc Ock and several of the champions on this list. Next up, Star-Lord, another one easy if you got a good cosmic champion in place. He is going to have True Strike and Power Gain, so he's going to be building up to his specials a lot faster. You're going to then go over to Black Widow, who we're back to the Bane, and you're going to see Bane pretty much throughout the rest of the path. She has Bane as well as enhanced crits. Then we're going to come over to Ant-Man, who again has the Bane and energy resistance. So you're going to want to watch what you're using, but honestly, there's a lot of skill champions out there that you're not going to have to really worry too much about energy damage. Most of them are very physical damage anyways. So if you're bringing in a solid skill champion to take on the science champions on this path, which there are several, again, not a problem there. Spider-Gwen has Bane as well as regen, so you're going to have to watch on that because she is going to regen some of that damage back. Daredevil, we're going to go over him with Bane and Stupefy, so he's going to also increase the duration of his stuns. Going to have to be careful on that one. Then you'll slip over to Nightcrawler, who has Bane and Enhanced Precision, so he is going to be more accurate with his attacks. And finally, Elektra with a special one lock, so you cannot go higher than one bar of power at any point in time. So if you're counting on an SP2 or an SP3 out of a particular champion, that's not going to be an option in this fight. She also has enhanced crits, so be careful there. Then finally, over to the boss, Hela. Now, Hela is one of those champions that you have to take into consideration her last 1% of health, because when she does get down to that, she does become indestructible and unblockable. So you're going to want to watch for that last little death cry that she's going to spill out on you anyways. I have found that, honestly, one of the easiest ways around that normally, and we didn't bring him in for this one, but Loki, if you have him, as soon as she switches over and gets that indestructible buff for that last 1%, if you do an SP1, you can steal it from her and drop her quickly. But if you don't have that as an option, you can still get through her. Good Science Champion normally will do it. I believe we actually finished her off with Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, who is actually at a class disadvantage, but it gave us the ability to have really good evades to avoid her long enough to bait out the timer, and then once the timer is over, just get in there and tap her. Do keep in mind she also has enhanced special 1s and special 2s, enhanced furies, and true strike. So she is going to be highly accurate. She's going to hit like a tank. So you're going to have to make sure that you're baiting out those specials, but you're going to also want to make sure that you're not taking them to the face. Lastly, she has Death's Embrace. Every 30 seconds, she's going to gain a Fury charge. Now, if she gets up to 5 Fury charges, she becomes unblockable. So you kind of want to get this fight done quickly if you can. Under 2.5 minutes gives you your best shot, because she's going to be getting stronger the entire time. So let's go ahead and look. I mentioned a couple people that we brought in on the team already, but let's go ahead and look and see what the full team was for this. Brought in Apocalypse, Aegon, Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, Captain Marvel movie, and Overseer. Now, these are pretty much some of my top champions on this account anyways, but we've pretty much got everybody along the way from beginning to end covered in some way, shape, or form. The only thing that we're going to take Overseer in for Hela, but like I said, personally, if I was on my main account and I knew Hela was going to be a boss, I'm going to be bringing in Loki. Now let's go ahead and go over and take a look. Now you can see here the description on Bane. Like I said, power seal on that second one. You're not going to see who any of the champions are beforehand, but we already gave you that good list at the beginning. Right off the bat here, we come in here against Red Hulk. Now, I did screw up on the first bit of Bane there and let him get it transferred over onto me, which ate up quite a bit of my health on Aegon here. But as you can see, for the most part, we were able to go ahead and keep it back on him after that. We slipped up several times, but we were able to actually use the relic there to buy us just enough time to finish him off. Brought in Overseer in here for magic. It is actually going to be a quick fight. I keep her from touching me with that sword, and that makes a huge difference. You got to keep in mind, too, like I said, between the fact that she's already got so much power control, you want to make sure that she's not getting any kind of touch in on you there. But Overseer made really short work of her. We did obviously heal up Aegon a bit, because he did take quite a bit of damage on that first fight, which he really shouldn't have, but that was some slip-ups on my fault. We turned around and came in here to Yellow Jacket, and of course we pushed him up to that SP3, which was not a great idea. That actually allowed us to end up taking quite a bit of damage a second time. So we will be healing up Aegon again one more time. But several of these fights are going to go a lot smoother. You can already see right here with Captain Marvel movie, things are going a lot better. And there's all she wrote with Dr. Octopus already. Now we're going to go over here to Star-Lord. We've got 12 charges in place. We're trying to bait out a few parry opportunities so that we can go ahead and get those charges up some more. Never hurts to get up to those full 25 charges, and then SP3. At that point, you are pretty much guaranteed you're going to end anybody. We could SP3 right here, and Star-Lord would definitely go down, but I was trying to go ahead and get up to the full charges so that I could carry them into subsequent fights. But because we did play around too much instead of just hitting that SP3, we ended up costing ourselves a bit and taking some damage. Getting over here, Apocalypse against Black Widow is absolutely short work. Didn't even hardly get a chance to talk about that. We went past it so fast. So we'll go ahead. Aegon, like I said, we healed him up a little bit, but not nearly as much as we did the first time. Still brought him in here against Ant-Man. And we're doing pretty good about keeping that Bane timer off of me and on him. And that's going to eat up most of his life. Did cost us a little bit there, but almost had him. So we figured it was a great opportunity to pick up another charge with Apocalypse there. So we brought him in for the finisher. Again, bringing in Captain Marvel movie just to grab those extra charges. But of course, we got set off on that. So we ended up eating more charges than we gained. But, you know, hey, Spider-Gwen was a little bit of fun, and I was trying to save on a revive or two just to show you that we can do it with anybody on the team. But came really close, so it was time for Peter to talk to Gwen real quick, and Peter made fairly short work of her. So we turned around and brought in Apocalypse here for Daredevil. Obvious choice here, you know, mutant versus skill. Able to keep that Bane timer off of us for the most part up until right there, right before the end. Took a little bit out of us on that one. Knew that I was at full charges here. Plus, on top of that, Nightcrawler's a pain when you've got to time perfect hits on him because of the fact of how much evade he has. But with full charges, we were able to make short work of him and get over here to Elektra. Now, like I said, with Elektra here, she does have that SP1 lock, so we're not going to get above the SP1 at any point in time. But as you can see, we really barely needed it, to be truthful. We almost had her done right away there. Did cost us Apocalypse before we could get over here to Hela. Now, I will tell you, Overseer, I've really been working with more and more lately, and I do enjoy him, but it was one of those things that I wasn't really prepared for the Hela fight, and I lost quite a bit on that. So we ended up bringing in Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, mostly because he had the most health of anybody on the team still left. So we're going to do, amazingly enough, a decent amount of work here comparatively to what Overseer did, considering the class advantage versus the class disadvantage. But then we still had to go ahead and bring in Apocalypse. Now, of course, bringing him in with 4 genetic charges and the ability to get in there, he's going to do quite a bit of work. He does bring her down to just above 1%. And I believe we bited on an SP3 because I pushed her over just a little too far. So, like I said, I was planning on the evade. We had to do it twice, unfortunately. But we did get that evade in enough on the second time to go ahead and finish her off there and clear the rest of the level. So that makes a bit of a difference. We got on to the next one, and we will be moving our way through the end of this very soon. Like I said, we should have it done over the next couple weeks, honestly. We've got quite a bit coming up over the next few weeks anyways. We do have the live stream tomorrow. We'll have a crystal opening on Monday. I'm working on putting something together for that. And then also on top of that, we will be continuing the series the rest of next week. We'll be getting done with the Cavalier series here pretty soon. Obviously, we're getting down to the last 9 levels. And so that puts us only a couple more weeks out on that, and then we will finish up the Paragon series. Obviously, we're continuing to alternate videos on that. Once we get done with those, we're going to start doing some champion spotlights and a few other things. we've had a really great live the last couple weeks. I hope you guys have a chance to stop in and see us this weekend. If not, feel free to check out any of the other videos on the channel or check out some of the previous lives. They've been a lot of fun, and I hope you guys are getting a chance to continue on with your own progressions and getting those new titles, because I'm definitely rooting for you, and I support every one of you because you support me so much, and I appreciate it every bit. So I'll see you guys back for the next one. Peace out.